to the Wednesday meditation service. I want to read the daily word for today. Inner peace. Peace dwells in my mind and heart, allowing me to respond with poise and serenity, even in the midst of turmoil. I give no fearful or anxious energy to outer circumstances. These are like a lake's choppy waves on a windy day. The serenity of my soul is like the water at depth that always remains calm and still. I notice the waves on the surface, but let them float away as I focus my attention on the stillness within. Remaining centered, I remember to live lightly, laugh, and be kind. I do not compare myself to others. I steer clear of negativity, stepping away from people or situations that do not support my feelings of worth or that keep me from living my fullest life. I have said this to you, so that in me you may have peace. In the world you face persecution, but take courage. I have conquered the world. John 16:33. Unity was founded by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, and it was really Myrtle Fillmore that really started getting into the work, and she had all manner of illnesses, which once she got into studying the Bible and the teachings of the Bible, she healed herself. She realized she had the Christ within. And what she got out of that was she started meditating and sending healing to the areas that were weak in her body, and she healed herself of major illnesses. So this ministry is also based on natural healing. It's part of the Christian Science organization. That's really not, but it's kind of at the same time that this was happening in America. This is when Unity was formed. I want to mention that we have these two sheets that are in our bookstore about the Casey remedies. Jack and I totally got into Edgar Casey and used his remedies to raise our children. They were phenomenal, and they still are. And my children still use these remedies. And we carry most of them in our bookstore. Tonight we're going to do a call and response, and just relax. Don't think about what your voice sounds like. Just try to get into a peaceful place. Spirit of the wind, carry me home. Spirit of the ocean, calm my emotions. Set my soul free. Spirit of the rain, wash away all pain. Spirit of the storm, help me be reborn. Set my soul free. Hey. hey, 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 hey. You're welcome to do that. It's very releasing. It doesn't matter what you sound like. It's just like a guttural connection to the spirit. Spirit of the sky, lift my soul to fly. Spirit of the sun, shine your light through me. Set my soul free. Hey, 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 hey. Let's do it again. Hey, 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 hey. Sounds good. Spirit of the wind, carry me home. Spirit of the rain, wash away all pain. Spirit of the sky, lift my soul to fly. Spirit of the ocean, calm my emotions. Spirit of the storm, help me be reborn. Spirit of the sun, shine your light through me. Set my soul free. Hey, 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 Spirit of the earth, guide my path home. Creator, bring me home. Home to the light within. Hey, 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 hey. Bring my soul home, bring my soul home, bring my soul home. Hey, 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 bring my soul home, bring my soul home. Hey, 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 hey.
I know. He only has one really limited trait. He gets excited over everybody. He just wants to meet them and greet them. But when he gets excited, he just pees. So Yeah. Oh, that's, you've had that happen to you? Okay, well, I had a delightful phone call this afternoon from a friend, just a longtime friend who happens to be a modern day sadhu. A sadhu is an ascetic who renounces the world and simply lives a life of devotion, discipline, and devotion. And I met this gal maybe 10 years ago. She came to the church for a couple of months, and while she was here, she would help out in the kitchen and things like that. But she had already decided, one day she just decided she was going to renounce the world as people live it and simply serve God. Wherever God would guide her, that's where she would go. And wherever she went, she just shared God's love. And she's been doing that for 10 years. When she first did it, she had first just stopped here for maybe a month, 6 weeks. And then she had, someone gave her passage. They had relatives in Australia, and they met her, and they decided to just pay for her passage to go to Australia and meet the family, which she felt was guided, so she went. She spent some time in Australia doing different service projects, and about a year later returned to America. And when she returned to America, she was working at a hospital. I think it was a children's hospital. She didn't work. She simply showed up and was doing visiting and playing games and stuff like that. But she's always she's called me. I've been in conversation with her over the years. And she's always doing something. Sometimes she winds up going to a church that needs somebody to help out with the Sunday school or the kitchen or something. And then she'll be guided to leave there. She was just guided to take a person to California. She was given a car by somebody who wanted her to visit, I think it was his brother in prison in Chicago. And she was given a nice car. It wasn't a new car, but a nice car with insurance and gas money. And because this person recognized her, what she was doing. So she kept the car. I don't know how, every time she winds up someplace, she's either, people put her up to sleep and take care of her, or I think sometimes she may even sleep in the car. I don't know. But I'll tell you this, she is always happy. When she talks, it's so delightful. It's like an older person filled with a child's enjoyment and love. So it's delightful just to listen to her talk. Over the years, she's had some tragedies take place. She was actually hit by a truck maybe a year ago, and it injured her legs. And she'd never gone to doctors per se. She wound up in the emergency room. They looked her over, bandaged her up. She convalesced for about a month or something. But they said she's going to need a series of operations, and she decided no, she could still walk with a walker. So she went back to doing her thing as a sadhu, going wherever God guided her, bringing the message of God's love. And just today's phone call, I've talked to her probably every month or two. Today, she's in Florida, and she said she had I don't know what she's involved in down there, but it's probably some service project, but she saw these two people sitting in their van, a brand new van, and she was getting a lemonade. She stopped and had this lemonade and was talking to some of the kids on the boardwalk. And when she came back a while later, the people were still sitting in their van. So she just went over to the van and said, can I help you? And they said, no. She said, well, is there something, would you like me to get you a lemonade? She said, no, we're just sitting here because we're bored. She said, you're bored? She said, there's, right over here on the boardwalk, it's not too far, it's only about a block away, they have a bunch of artists and entertainers on the boardwalk right now. And they said, we don't like stuff like that. And we just retired, and we bought this RV 2 weeks ago. We drove down from Maine, stopping in different places to camp and sleep. And she said, but the whole trip has just been boring. And she said, how can you be bored? There's so many things to see. And I said, oh, no, it's not really. She said, oh, just look over there. It's like about 10 feet away, there was this pelican sitting on this part of the boardwalk, which was a railing. She said, look at that beautiful bird. She said, they said, well, it's a pelican. I can see it. We could have turned on the television if we wanted to see birds. And they were just totally depressed. And she said, well, look, God still loves you, and if you can just feel your way into that, it might give you some energy to see things differently. She's also on occasion, this gal is also sometimes filled in as a Course in Miracles leader at some church where she winds up. But it was an interesting commentary that she met these people that were bored already. I mean, they only was like out 2 weeks. And you know how in this country for a long time, people look forward to retiring. And there are those that know how to retire, and there are those that don't. You just cannot stop being interested. If you stop being interested, you have to work on it. You have to work on regenerating that interest, or it's just going to take away your delight. What that means is take away your light, because you're not interested. Of course, meditation is an act of being quiet and letting go. And it's an act of allowing light to come into one's consciousness. But if you don't have meditation, I think retirement is going to be a problem for anybody that doesn't have that kind of contact with the divine. And you see a lot of homeless people today, and there's a desperation in them. Isn't it interesting? Because it just seems like if you hit bottom, if you're about to hit bottom, or at the bottom, you start to look for another way, a different way to conduct your life and your awareness. I know I had to do that over and over again. And all of that, my memoirs are finally in print and will be published, will be in a book in about 3 weeks. And I'm going to be advertising it. And everybody has escaped my wanting to promote. I've written 3 books, but I have never promoted them. Simply haven't had the time, raising a family, running the church, and doing that, not having the kind of finances that you need today to promote a book adequately. But this book is going to change people's lives. So I'm going to promote it to the nth degree. And I've got somebody assisting me in doing this, and we are going all out for it. But in any case, you will find an underlying truth being related in the experiences of my life, all the way up to the times and into the ministry, etc. You will see the activity of a power that wasn't generated by me. I didn't invent it. I didn't make it up. I just, at first, actually, you read my memoir, you're going to see how I really resisted this interference, this intrusion that was made in my life a number of times. And I never recognized that the mischief and the difficulties and the suffering that were created out of that actually guided me further on my path to the realization of the presence of God in every person, in every place, in every condition, in every moment. You will read a book that's going to change your life. So, because it changed mine. But I'm just saying that you see people that are homeless today, and so many of them, you think that the process, because I did hit bottom a lot of times, and when you hit bottom, you're kind of open to say, all right, let me try something new, something I may not have wanted to or resisted. Some people, it's just about getting a job. Some people, I mean, I've met people in the ministry enough. There are people that literally, for some reason, hate work. They will not work at all, don't want to work, even if it means eating out of a dumpster. And they go through that. Not that there aren't jobs, that they couldn't get jobs flipping burgers or doing something someplace, but they just will not work, will not take a job. And I've met them and talked to them, and I've been through this. I mean, this happens so often that I could write a book about homeless attitudes. I ask, and occasionally I will ask them, why? Why aren't you working? I mean, you meet a 30, 35-year-old person, and he or she is not working. Mostly he. Mostly he's. The women are very few on the homeless path, but I've met a couple of them. And there's, you know, some of them have a story, a true story about the abuse they received when they were younger. And you can understand it. You can understand them shutting down against life or having a belief or a faith that things could be better. They see life in such a negative view, and they have a reason for that. Because for some reason they were born to a couple of maniacs or some lunatic and their lives were seriously distorted. All right, they need help. But then there are those that haven't had that kind of experience. They simply reached a place where, and this is happening a lot today, they don't want to work. Work seems like a terrible thing to them. They want to be able to get up in the morning and do whatever they want to do next. And for many of them, it doesn't work as well as they'd like it to because they get bored. They try to find something that will make them happy. And don't discount the idea of work making you happy, because you can feel fulfilled. You feel the energy of God. We're all part of God, by the way. And the energy of life is God. And as we get involved in opening ourselves to doing things with a devotion, not just doing a job to get through it or to get paid some money, but with a devotion, doing whatever you do with a devotion. And that's what this sadhu, this lady, does. She does everything with a devotion to God. And she feels so elated and lifted. And these people had said to her, well, what do you think? I mean, look at you, you're using a walker. How can you say you believe in love and happiness and everything is beautiful? She said, well, because love exists, I am happy, and everything is beautiful. They said, but you have a walker, you're not walking right. She said, yeah, I was hit by a truck. And so what? She said, that was a year ago. It's amazing, the mind. And it's only the mind. I guess if you've been listening to me, wouldn't it be terrible for me after all these years if nobody was really ever listening? All of a sudden God shows up and says, Jack, nobody was listening. Oh, thank you, God. Thank you very much. It was all for me. But just the whole concept of what is always being shared in unity is this whole idea that we are all connected. And we're connected to this greater intelligence and love that is not off somewhere else. It's right here in the moment if we allow ourselves to be in the moment with it. You know, God is omnipresent and God is love. But the problem we have is that we are not present in mind. Our minds are distorted because they spend a lot of time conjecturing about how to be happy, thinking about how I can make my future better, and I'll be happier if I can get it to go this way or that way, or get this to happen or that to happen, or avoid this, get away from that. And as long as we're into that, we're operating from a limited perspective. And all that we're doing here with spiritual practice is we're quieting the incessant thinking of the mind so that we can be present in the now moment. And that's not easy for so many people in our Western culture. They're forever conspiring in their minds. Nothing wrong with that at first. You have to grow up and use your intellect. But what happens is we believe that it's our God. So we're always conspiring in our mind, and we think that technology somehow is going to bail us out of all the suffering that's in the world. It's not going to happen. The suffering that exists in our world is there by virtue of the fact that we are not God-conscious beings. We're not. The majority of people are not. They're self-centered, illusion-driven human beings. They're not punished for that by God. That in itself is punishment. To not know how to feel joy and love and be at peace spontaneously here, present. To not be able to be there means that you're outside of the kingdom of God. And you're always searching for something that you think is going to get you what you're looking for. And you cannot conspire, contrive, conjecture to think it through and find it out and make it happen. It's not going to work that way. There is an opening to feeling good, which is to feel God. And I know, as I said to you, that over so many conditions and circumstances in my life that seemed to be really terrible, I did not recognize this subtle majesty of an intelligence that knows how to bring you to that which will free you to be one in joy, in love, in peace, in life. Let me share this with you from A Course in Miracles here. I guess this is going to be absolutely true. You can read this in the workbook on page 103. Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. I would fulfill my function that I may be happy. Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. I would fulfill my function that I may be happy. It goes on to say, illusions about yourself and the world are one. That is why all forgiveness is a gift to yourself. Your goal is to find out who you are, having denied your identity by attacking creation and its creator. Now you are learning how to remember the truth, for this attack must be replaced by forgiveness, so that thoughts of life may replace thoughts of death. Do you not then begin to understand what forgiveness will do for you? It will remove all sense of weakness, strain, and fatigue from your mind. It will take away all fear and guilt and pain. It will restore the invulnerability and power God gave you. This probably says everything that A Course in Miracles is trying to get across. I'll share it with you again. You can read this on page 103 in the workbook. You see what forgiveness is. I always have been capable of relating the ideal that forgiveness is a complete and total yoga. You know, you can go through whatever you want to go through. Bodily, physical yoga and special breathing things, all that's wonderful. But it is the attitude of mind that is capable of forgiving anything and everything. So there are no grievances left in one's mind. You see, if you hold a grievance in your mind, even against life, like those two people sitting in the van, if you're holding a grievance against life, it hasn't been good enough, it hasn't shown me anything, it hasn't come through for me. If you're holding a grievance, it's cutting you off from the miracle of just being alive. Now, I try to illustrate this, and I do this often enough, you should remember this illustration that I do. I'm going to read this again. Then I'm going to do the illustration. Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. I would fulfill my function that I may be happy. Illusions about yourself and the world are one. That is why all forgiveness is a gift to yourself. Your goal is to find out who you are, having denied your identity by attacking creation and its creator. Now you are learning how to remember the truth, for this attack must be replaced by forgiveness. In your mind, you're attacking something. Life's not good enough. It didn't go well today. This person should have known better. I don't know where they came from with that stupid idea. This person is worthy of being punished. On and on and on. So the mind goes on. I should know better. I can't understand how they gave this person that award. How did this one get this job? Why is this person making so much money? They don't deserve it. I should be making that money. On and on and on. The mind. There is all that's going on in that illusionary world, and there's poor me. So I sit in this van, and I can't see the beauty of a pelican. Can you imagine a pelican? Where did the pelican come from? Creation. This great mind of which we are all a part decided, I think I need some pelicans. When people see a pelican, they're going to see something really unusual and meaningful. And some other birds too. I think I need a seashore and an ocean. I think I need a boardwalk. I think I need a Ferris wheel. I think I need a mountain filled with forests and trees and beavers and creatures. I think I need rivers and oceans and marine life. And then I will create man to enjoy it. But look at him, chasing the almighty dollar. Oh my God, what happened to his mind? Now you are learning how to remember the truth, for this attack must be replaced by forgiveness, so that thoughts of life may replace thoughts of death. Do you not then begin to understand what forgiveness will do for you? It will remove all sense of weakness, strain, fatigue from your mind. It will take away all fear and guilt and pain. It will restore the invulnerability and power God gave you. So I don't even know if this illustration I'm going to do here, it's going to be like part of the meditation. I don't even know if it works. It just seems to me that it should work. If you close your eyes for just a second, it won't take long. And imagine if you had no life. A dreamless state of nothingness. There's nothingness and there's no consciousness of nothingness. There is just nothing. And then, for 5 minutes, you have 5 minutes of any part of your life that you're living now. For 5 minutes that it happens, you have consciousness, you're alive, You're driving your car, or you're going to the marketplace, or you're watching children in the park. For 5 minutes, otherwise it's nothingness. For 5 minutes, you have consciousness. You're in this body, 5 minutes, and then it's gone. That exhilaration, that miracle, the beingness of God itself would only want to get back to the miracle, no matter how we have looked upon it, how we have just denied its miracleness, only to get back to it and be alive in the moment. And to live in the awareness that you are loved, and even though you are in a state of denial and forgetfulness, and you have all these different objections about how things are going, doesn't matter. You were created in the image and likeness of that which is love. And it can never stop loving your soul. And you may come lifetime after lifetime and disregard that presence, but it has never disregarded you. It waits patiently for you to even slightly awaken and take to task the objections that you have held and release them through forgiveness, and then get to a place where you're like a master, releasing every negative feeling that comes your way with forgiveness. And you're saying things like, let it be so. It's okay to be this way. It's all okay. He's okay, she's okay, they're okay, the government's okay. Everything's okay. From my point of view, I'm good with it. Let's meditate. Listen to our bowls. And as we listen to our bowls and just allow the beautiful vibrations that were created somewhere, these bowls were manufactured, I think, in Tibet, weren't they?
Yes, and they're chanted all the time in form.
These bowls were manufactured in Tibet, and they were chanting all the time. They were being formed. And so when you listen to them, they're calibrated to just be with you and synchronize with your divine spiritual 7 chakras. So if you just listen to them and allow yourself to be present, can you imagine just allowing yourself to be present for no good reason? What a waste of time. To allow yourself to be present for no good reason? Your mind is going to say, oh God, this is a waste of time. I could be making money somewhere. What about just being here, being present, and feeling okay with it? Listen to these bowls, and then when the bowls are finished, you can take on this particular ideal as the silence comes upon and frees your mind. You can know God is love. Love is life. I am God's life. I am. I am. Breathing in the I, breathing out the am. God is love. Love is life. I am God's life. I am. Breathe in the I, breathe out the am. I am. Level of awareness, let us bring to mind the names of those that have been submitted to our prayer list. Because we are all interconnected, let this energy of divine love awaken in the names and the being of those submitted to our prayer list. So as Norma calls the name, just let the divine love awakening thought go to the name.
Elaine Skarmutus, Greg Snyder, Landrick in Maryland, Michelle Pulo and family, Megan, Tricia, Kate, Joey, Rhonda, Gail, David Booker, Cindy Allen, Scott, Gwen, Ukraine people, Annie, Stacy, Moshe the dog, Deb and Dan King, Chris Bentley, Louie, Larry, new bass player for Unity, Emil, Susan, Dara, Rich, Tim, Tate, Steve Taylor, the nuclear energy plant in Ukraine, Zibi, John, Robert Learman, the air, water, earth, all life on planet Earth. Is healing. You can call out a name if you would like to at this time. We see this healing light surrounding the prayer box and all the people's names that have been submitted. We see them healed physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Let us take a moment or two now to feel this awakening love awareness rising in the consciousness of everyone sharing this Boulder community with us. And it expanding to everyone sharing the state of Colorado with us. This rising love awareness. And it spreading to everyone in these United States of America. Rising love awareness. It's spreading to all the nations of the world. Rising love awareness. Coming into the consciousness and expression of every human being on planet Earth. And it restoring the pristine harmony of all the creatures on planet Earth, all the marine life, and all the forests and the lakes and oceans filled with this divine energy. As we pray, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and God is love. To this we say, Amen. We will take an offering for unity now. And we can have a little more light. We'll take an offering here in the sanctuary, and those of you watching live stream, you can scroll down to that button on your screen that says donate. And we bring to mind that financial gift we'd like to make to Unity of Boulder, and bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give.
Oh, Earth Mother, I hear your call. Oh, Earth Mother, I hear your call to honor the sacredness of all life, to honor the sacredness of all life. Oh, Earth Mother, I hear your call.
Join me now, please. We dedicate this tithe to the will and the work of the Spirit of truth, and to the victory of the Spirit of truth. Amen. Okay, Sunday will be 9 a.m. Norm and I will be doing a 9 a.m. service. I'm doing a series on healing. And Santisha will be doing the 11 o'clock service. What else have we got?
That's it.
That's it.
We have refreshments. The bookstore is open. You're welcome to look through the bookstore, and if you would like these sheets on the healing remedies of the Edgar Casey readings, they're available in the bookstore for nothing. I really would like you to have them, because these remedies work.
All right, the bookstore is through these doors to your left as you go out. To everyone, have a good night.